All right, in this video we're going to take a minute and I'm just going to show our group administrators and our LPs how to create a new small group using our Planning Center database. So go ahead and use your login and your password and log in to the small groups page, which will take you to the page, this page right here. When you go to add a small group, just notice over here on the right hand corner there's a plus sign, create a new group. Go ahead and click on that, and then the first thing you want to do is add the group's name. Now, for the sake of consistency and the way that these groups are going to show up on our web page and also on our app, we want to make sure that they're formatted all the same. So what you want to do is you want to type in small group so people can quickly know what it is, and then with a hyphen, and then use the group leader's last name. So I'm going to create a Hewitt's small group. And then the second pull down here is actually group type, and you notice that we've got small groups, mentors, Sunday classes, serving teams, and then unique groups. And we'll get to some of those in future videos. Right now we want to just create a small group. So I'm going to go ahead and create that, and what's going to do is take me to the administrative page for that particular small group. Now the idea will be eventually that all of our small group leaders will be able to come in, log into their own administrative page, and keep track of their own groups. But this is just for you to set it up. So we're just going to now sort of work from left to right and from top to bottom and make sure that we check all the necessary information so that people can find this group when they sign up online. So I've got the group name here. The first thing that I want to do is I want to add the appropriate properties. You see right here, this button, Add Properties. This will allow people to find the group based on their search criteria on a Sunday morning or from the app or whatever. So make sure that you just toggle all that apply. So I'm going to choose the Logan campus. Now, if I had somebody that was in just because of geography or the type of group that they're leading, if it were appropriate for multiple campuses, notice that I can toggle more than one so that it can come up in both searches. I'm just going to do a Logan campus. I'm going to do a small group. I'm also going to make sure that we have childcare provided for that group, and then I'm going to offer the group on Sunday. Okay, that's the criteria now, and notice those all popped up along this line here. So that's how people will find our group as they're doing a search. The next thing I want to do is I want to come over to the right hand side and just make sure that the group is public and that it's open. So both of those should be green so that people can find the group. Now, I'm going to recommend that all we do is that we add the group leaders right now, and then we'll let them add their own members later, and we'll have another video to show you how to do that. But notice this, there's 3 tabs here, Members, Calendar, and Resources. Right now, let's just add a member, but let's just add the group leader. So I'm going to add myself, and my information's in here. Now, when I click on this to add me as a member, it's going to ask, do you want to notify the person with an email? Now, you can choose to do that or not. I'm not going to notify myself because I know I'm going to be in the group. So I'm just going to just bypass that. But then the next step, and we want to make sure we do this, is that right now, notice all members, and Chad is listed as a member of this group, and there's my information. But what I want to do is I want to make sure that I come over here to Member Actions, and I'm going to make Chad the leader of the group. Now, as I do that, again, it's going to ask me if I want to notify the person. When I send this notification, the group leader will be able to create a login and a password so that they can get to this administrative page, and from there they're going to be able to add their own members to their own group. So we want to make sure that they do that. So go ahead and notify the leader that you've made them the leader, and then submit that. Then they'll get an email and they can log in and start manipulating some of this data. Okay, so from there, we want to just work down this column here on the right-hand side. This is pretty self-explanatory. It's got a bunch of default settings in there, and basically what we're going to do is we're going to override the default settings and put in our own information. So the first box is the basic group settings you see here. We're going to override that, and the information we're going to be able to put in is schedule. So I'm going to say Sunday evenings at 7 p.m. Okay, that's the way it's going to display as people are searching for it. So I'm going to save that schedule, and then if I want to put a description or more information about the group, I can. In this case, I do because this is an awesome group. So I want to make sure people know that as they're searching. And you can put whatever text in there you want, or edit that however you want to give more information about the group. So save that. Notice there's a toggle button here that says leaders can edit the group image. I'm going to leave that checked because I want my leaders to be able to upload their own photos, whether it's of the leader or of the group. So I'm going to let them do that. Then I want to make sure that we add a location so people can find them just by geography. If they have no other criteria, they just want something in their neighborhood, we want to make sure we have the location in there. So the second option here is create a new location. That's typically what I'm going to pick, unless it's at something like if it's already at one of the campuses. So if I have something that meets at the Layton campus or the Logan campus or the Riverdale campus, you can see that those are already preset addresses, and so we can choose one of those. In this case, it's going to be my home address, so I'm just going to create a new location. It's going to ask me to give it a name, so we'll call it the Hewitt Home Location. That's a funny name. That'll work for our video though. And then it's going to ask me if I want a street address or if I want to just sort of put a pin on a map somewhere. But I've got the physical address, so I'm going to do that. This is not actually my address. This is the church's address, but again, we're just learning here. So I'm going to go ahead and click on 395 South Main, which is actually our Logan campus. And then it's going to ask, do I want an approximate location or an exact location? So if I do approximate, then when people see the map, they'll just kind of see this red circle. I'm going to recommend that we do an exact address, and then it actually pinpoints it on the map. So people will be able to see where our groups are. So I'm going to save that location. Okay, so there's my location section. Then if I continue to scroll down, the next thing it will do is it'll allow me to update the contact information. So I can override. I can put in my email address. I can put in my phone number. Okay, and then save both of those. The member listing, we're actually gonna use the default settings that are there, so don't worry about that. And then the last one is just the enrollment settings. If people have a capacity on their group and they can't seat more than 12 people in their living room, then you have the option to put that in here. So you'll put override again. And then what I'm going to do is for our Logan groups is I'm just going to say notify the admin or notify me, the lead pastor, if enrollment goes past 12 people. They've said they can only get 12 in their living room, so I'm going to allow 12 people to sign up. I'm going to get a notification if more than 12 sign up. Doesn't mean that people aren't going to be able to join. It just means that when I get this, I'm going to call the group leader and find out how many people are really showing up versus how many people have signed up. So I'm going to get, oops, I changed the number there. I'm going to get a notification if more than 12 sign up. Okay, so that's everything that's in that right column. So I've got the group. I've got all of the properties. I've put the first member in as the group leader. And then I've actually come over here to the action button and I've made them the leader, sent them an email. It's a public group. It's open. And then I went down the right column and did all the information. Now, the last thing I'll show you quickly is that if you have a picture, you can update this yourself. Or again, you can ask the small group leaders to do it. Right here, this circle, if you just click on, if you scroll over it, you see that it darkens and it allows you to change the image. You can just pick a file from your computer and put that in there and just update it, and then you'll see that that's going to update the group image. Okay, so if I go back to groups, you'll see that now there's a Hewitt small group listed there, so it'll show up in the search. So that's how to add a group. Look forward to more videos where you'll find more information that will help you and your group leaders make sure we have all the right info in here.